Finals, we have aggressive openings from both as we enter Dusk Towers for map number 1. So the bottom left hand side is going to be the pink Zerg player Scarlett, who opened with just a slightly later gas pool than her opponent to the upper right, red Zerg player Pet, who opened with a slightly faster gas pool. Now there's going to be two very different build orders here, where Scarlett is going to pull out of gas completely, but Pet is going to continue to mine that gas, looking for the Baneling Nest here early on. So Baneling Nest already on the way down for Pet, as we see Scarlett sending a few lings out onto the map and is ready to take her hatchery. When she doesn't continue to mine gas, it means her hatchery comes down nice and quick. But of course it's going to be link speed against link speed, but also the Bane Nest for Pet is going to make a big difference here. And of course right now, neither player really knows what's happening or what these builds from the other is, as we see Scarlett just moving up the left hand side. She's done this build aggressively the last couple of days. I've casted her in ZvZs, where she then in the second match goes for a hatchery first on King Sejong, for example, and hides the hatchery at the third base and makes the other player overreact massively to just a hatchery first. As we're going to see now, Scarlett will see the first few seconds of her opponent come down. Is going to realize here that this is actually her opponent being a little bit aggressive too, perhaps in the very near future. Actually, both players sending out lings and hiding the rest of them. So it'll be very interesting as both players hit link speed at the same time. We're going to just be seeing Scarlett actually hits link speed a bit fast, but doesn't go for them lings. Going to go straight across the map, and she's going to run into too many lings to begin with there. We're going to see Scarlett will have more lings coming out. Again, Scarlett doesn't have gas, but it's all about her having to deny the Banelings from coming up here. If she doesn't deny the Banelings from coming up, then she's going to be in a little bit of trouble. So, lings coming in. She has a lot of lings. She has a lot more lings. She has that one extra drone, which does help out a bit. She's a couple of lings ahead, but again, it's the Banelings that are going to create the real issue. But they're coming into the top right side of the map, so they're not here just yet. Scarlett going to have to pay attention to these Zerglings right now. Sees the Banelings, pulls away. She has gone into gas mining of her own, and she has got a Baneling Nest started. So, Scarlett, as long as she can kind of defend against this here, she's in a pretty good spot because her hatchery is already finished up in the game. So her hatchery is already finished. We see her cancelling one Baneling here right now. We're going to see another Baneling beginning to morph in straight away. Queens on the ramp are going to block, as it's going to be Queens maybe to try and target down these Banes and to keep the Zerglings alive. Splitting her Zerglings up, going to try and cancel that Bane coming in once again from the right, left, as we see Scarlett is really kind of starting to get cornered here. Nice little pull away on two Zerglings. And she is beginning to kind of shut down these Banelings, so there's a little bit of a counterattack from Scarlett. It's actually distracting Pet, forcing him to pull back, and gives Scarlett the situation now where she is actually able to get her own Banelings in, and she will defend. Well played by Scarlett, getting herself out of a tough situation here of some cute micro and some cute decisions. But she has a few workers behind here, so despite being upper base, she's down in workers just because she's been continuing to make units while her opponent has not been. But of course that means now that she maybe has a potential to counterattack. So we'll see if that's something she wants to try and go for, as we see her starting to move across the map here. Banes against Banes, 2 against 2. Most likely just going to trade things off. The Scarlett actually pulls back, so again a little bit behind on drones, but has that army advantage, but not making use of it just yet in this game. As we're going to see Lings moving out once again, and Pet coming in towards the upper right side once more to just kind of get back home and defend. His actual hatchery now finished up, and we come out of this with, well, fairly equal worker counts. Scarlett's going to be a little bit behind in workers. And still a little bit ahead in army though, so it means she can be a little bit greedy a little bit later on. Just a slight disadvantage for her right now, but she's going to find an overlord kill. That's pretty nice with these two queens. Queens with that extra range now going to be able to kill overlords more consistently as well. Remember, it's a little bit of a minor difference, but it still will make a difference. As we see them two Banelings going to turn around, and two Banes against two Banes perhaps here in the next couple of moments, as we see Ling Bane from Pet having a little bit of a think as to what it wants to do. Going to be coming around here. There's them two Banelings again moving forwards, and just a continuous kind of trade between the Ling Bane here. Or not trade, but kind of dance between the Ling Bane, where neither player's committing, but both players want to try and keep on being aggressive. As you see Scarlett very narrowly kind of losing out there to a couple of Banes. She's going to come in here, wants to try and trade, but there's the Queens, and so she'll actually be able to pick those off without too much of an issue. One Bane goes down straight away. As we see Lair about to finish up now from Pet. From Scarlett, her lair is only just starting, so if this becomes a muta versus muta match, Scarlett's going to find herself quite far behind in terms of the mutalisks. So let's see if that's something that does come about. Taking some extra gas now as well. Pet still yet to start the Spire, so if he is going into that, it's not happening just yet, as we see a few Lings just going to try and run by. Baneling goes off on a couple of Lings, not the most of efficient plays, but still okay. Scarlett again ready to pop down the third hatch. She still is in an army supply lead, so if she gets aggressive, she could probably try and deny the third hatchery, which if it goes into muta versus muta, is going to be huge, because she might be behind initially, but she will catch up with a 5th and 6th gas over her opponent. So that's something Scarlett might be aiming towards right now, as we see her moving across. A couple of Banes up on the high ground. We're going to see Scarlett with a couple of Banes ready to lead the charge here. Already running 1 or 2 Lings through, and is going to see already the Spire started. Is going to see the lair on the way up as well. So we'll see if Scarlett still wants to go for a Spire of her own. She's only, what, 30, 40 seconds behind? Her gas count is going to be a little bit behind, but again, should catch up as we see 2 Banes with 2 Banes. And again, she just knows that she's got this slightly faster third hatchery, and that is definitely going to help her out with the meter count over time here. And that's her lair finishes, and it is going to be a Spire from her as well. So Spire on Spire play here to kick us off into game number 1 of the ZvZ semi-finals in the Douyu Cup. As we see this few seconds, just pulling back all the way down towards the bottom left side, we're going to see a couple extra Banes morphing in for Scarlett. Again, looking to continue defending, while we see, again, Pet finally getting that third hatchery going. So, different advantages for different players in this game so far. Very hard to judge who's going to come out ahead of all of this. I mean, Scarlett's still overall about, 5 meters plus 3 more is 8 against 6 right now, based on Scarlett's gas count. So, Scarlett's going to be a bit behind on the upgrade timing. She's also going to be a little bit behind just on the fact that she's still not quite got as much gas as her opponent. But again, these 2 gases here are going to change things quite dramatically. You can see right now it's pretty even, but as Scarlett begins mining off this gas, she'll take quite the lead. And that little bit of a difference might just be all she needs to actually catch up in the meters. Maybe not immediately, but in the next couple of moments. And then it just comes down to the upgrade advantage, which will be held by Pet, as we see them few meters coming in. And Scarlett just looking to hit a run by, but Bane's in position. And I think the Lings are correct and probably best off backing away from this. So you're going to see these Lings backing away already. Scarlett pulling back down towards the lower left hand side, and well, maybe not the lower left straight away, may just look for a different location to kind of run on through. Pet has very good map control now. A lot of overlords spread out, Scarlett with much fewer, and that's obviously one of the advantages of having the first meters in the game. As we will see Scarlett just pulling her drones away. Queen's of course going to be kind of extra good against meters nowadays with that extra little bit of range. Will definitely help out as we see these couple of overlords are going to take some damage. A meter pops out, Scarlett has to be careful about this. I mean, with her Queens defensively, she can sit back for a while. The gas now mining for her Pet on his third base as well. So it comes down to this right now. Let's look at this. 9 against 10 meters plus 1 started. I think Scarlett has in the end ended up with the upgrade, with the meter lead. Just because of the speed of that third base. So let's see, it's going to be what? 7 plus 4? Very, very easily actually. 16 against 14. So she's a couple of meters ahead here overall. Again, it is the +1 flyer carapace she has to be careful of. That's the one way she doesn't have an opportunity in this game. That's the one opportunity Pet has now. And again, I mean, 16 against 14 is still only a 2 meterless difference, so Scarlett still has to be a little bit careful. As good control by Pet as, he actually kind of baits Scarlett into a fight, which I don't really think she wants to take, but she's going to come in anyways. And well, the meters are going to fight from both sides. And does Scarlett just have enough here? She's got, what, 4 meters left over against 8 or so? Well, no, she doesn't. So both players lose a lot of meterless though. She comes in with this one last meter, wants to try and take that one down, but it survives on 4 health. Then counterattack now actually going to be a little bit problematic from Scarlett, and well, that was a bit of an interesting fight because again, I think from the get-go you could kind of see Scarlett just didn't have enough, but she took the fight anyways, and in the end it didn't end up going too badly for her. The +1 flyer carapace now in game for Pet, but both players taking heavy hits to their meter counts, and all said and done it's 11 to 10 with 4 on the way from each. Still pretty even in the meterless counts here, so all said and done, we're evening it up once again. Both players with their 4th hatcheries at similar times. Scarlett keeping hers alive, big play there to get that extra gas going again. +1 flyer attacks already on the way up from Pet. Going to go +1 flyer attacks instead of +2 carapace, just because if Scarlett goes for +1 flyer attacks instead of +2 carapace and Pet doesn't, then he finds himself at a time where he's, +2 carapace takes a longer to kind of finish, so he finds himself at a time with an upgrade disadvantage for a while. So it's one of them things as we see +1 flyer attacks coming in from both players. And Scarlett still leading 7 drones ahead, 15 to 18 meters, so a few meters behind. So the only real difference is right now, though, very similar game. We do see +1 carapace going to finish up from Pet, and that is something to keep in account here, that he's going to have that little bit of an advantage on the ground. We're going to see Scarlett just coming forwards. I mean, if she plays defensively under these queens for a while, she should be okay. Just wants to make sure she doesn't let Pet do too much damage and take too much of an advantage from this, as we see him just looking around over to the left side here. And here's again just collecting together in the center of Scarlett. He's going to come out onto the map. And meter counts still staying very even. I'm going to stop saying the numbers because you can see it yourselves when I go into the units tab, but I mean, they're pretty even. It's very slight differences, and of course it's always changing with kind of players hitting kind of, their production, just finishing and just starting production and stuff like that. We're just going to be seeing the meters from Pet. Looking as though he wants to take down these rocks doesn't really make much of a difference. I mean, it's not like there's very much that can come on this high ground and really abuse this 4th base. You see Scarlett loops in, wants an overlord kill, but actually she's going to find herself maybe getting a little bit caught here. Picks off 1 meter to begin with. She doesn't want to fight the overlords, because if she does fight, she wants to fight the meters. She's going to turn around, but she's down an upgrade in this engagement, and I believe, being on her own side of the map, she should also be down in middleless count. And so this is a little bit awkward. We do see a Ling fight going on, and it is beginning to go the way of Scarlett, but she's losing dramatically the meter war, and she's going to be down to only 4 mutalisks remaining. That is the difference of an upgrade, and that is the difference of not just the upgrade, but also just the meter count as well combined. Scarlett loses out really heavily here to the top side of the map, and Pet, well, now he takes a big lead in game number 1. So, Pet is looking very good in this first game on Dusk. That one fight up there, Scarlett just kind of went for the Overlord, going for this Overlord here, didn't even get the kill, and that just led her to kind of being stuck in the top side, and would have been better just kind of taking some free damage trying to get out, but it's such a hard situation to judge. We're just going to be seeing the Ling meter joining up together here. Phoebe Balin is actually morphing in now from Pet as well, so really just looking to kind of bust down and win this game in the very near future as he gets ready to just kind of go for this big attack. +2 fly carpets from both right now, but Scarlett drops the infestation pit, maybe looking to try and transition out of this now. Realizing that the meters might not be all too good just on their own, as we're going to see this 4th base going down. So Scarlett takes another hit to her game plan. We're just going to see the Spore Crawl at the front, trying to be transfused. Green's going to try and fight as well. Bane's crashing in from both players. Scarlett loses a lot of Zerglings though, and you can just see the meter count is just going to reign supreme, I believe, from Pet in the skies. The Ling Bane on the ground is also going to reign supreme, as we're just going to be seeing, well, I mean, the Spore Crawl is going to push the meters away, but I mean, the Lings alone will be putting game-ending damage onto Scarlett right now. And Pet is going to go 1-0 up in this best of 3 for the Douyu Star Masters number 46 in the semi-finals, as we see Pet just coming back in. A game which started off aggressively. Scarlett kind of definitely had advantage. I mean, both players had their chances. It was Pet who was able to capitalize on his. And Pet took game number 1 of that best of 3 then. And anything though, you guys could just listen to the music. So I'm sorry about that. I don't like to take breaks and disappear during best of 3 series. I just had to do that momentarily. So game 1 went the way of Pet. Game 2 here on Frost, going to be opening up and looking to see how things are going. And to the top right, it's Scarlett from Dead Pixels, playing as the pink Zerg player. And to the bottom right, our teal Zerg is going to be Pet, joining Power Team MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Unless, was it Pet that left MVP? I don't think it was. I think it's Horror. Either way, Scarlett, they're going to fight back in this game as we see Hatch Gas Pool from Pet against the Pool First from Scarlett. As we see Vertical Spawns here on Frost. So Vertical Spawns to kick us off into the second game. I mean, Frost is another larger map where we definitely could see something along the lines of a, like a bit, a bit of a larger, we could see kind of something like Middleist play again, basically. That wouldn't be so, that wouldn't be kind of such a weird thing to see here. So we're just going to be seeing the, see how the early game develops. Obviously, we see kind of Pet coming in. We're going to see the hatchery coming down a bit later in the zone, so we'll know that this was a kind of a pool first play, but shouldn't be kind of too worried about what was going on. I was just going to be seeing the Overlord from Scarlett just heading down south, the second Overlord now, after seeing Hatch first from her opponent. Guys, the song during the break was I Wish I Was Someone Better by Blood Red Shoes. Very easy one to guess the title of, considering this is pretty much the only lyrics in the entire song. I'm just going to be seeing Overlord from Scarlett just kind of moving around, and we're just going to be seeing kind of Link Speed on the way up. So Link Speed coming up here. A couple of Queens going to be finishing up from Pet. I'm just going to be seeing him. I mean, both players are set up early in this game into sort of what we'd expect. Pet not going to start Link Speed just yet, so we'll see if it's a delayed Link Speed or whether he just wants to skip Link Speed and go into Roaches. Scarlett cancels her own Link Speed, so upon maybe kind of information gained where it says, well, actually, you're not being aggressive into me, we're going to see players starting to take up, and that's a very fast layout of Scarlett. 3 minutes into the game, Scarlett is not messing around with the speed of this tech, as we're going to see a Roach Run and an Evo Chamber coming down from Pet. So Pet going to be looking to go into kind of Roach-based play with a fast +1. But the thing is, with the speed of this layer from Scarlett, I don't even think like +1 Roach timing comes in time to kind of deflect this or something or anything. So let's see how this goes. We're going to have the layer on the way up as well from Pet. So definitely heading towards a Roach-based play, unless he wants to just, well, I mean, he's got an Evo Chamber as well, so he very is likely to just play this. Actually, Scarlett going to play Roach-based play as well, so both players actually doing the same thing here, where they just bypass the kind of Zerglin speed and go straight into Roaches, which is pretty kind of common. Honestly, I mean, the kind of to go Middleist without Zerglin speed would be very weird, so Roach-based play from both players here right from the get-go, as we're going to have +1 starting, and Scarlett will just have a slightly faster Roach speed, and that'll be about it as the differences in this game. So see how that plays out as Scarlett getting ready to take a third hatchery, as is Pet. They're going to take different third bases. Pet can expand towards Scarlett, whereas Scarlett expanding away from her opponent. She is going to lose an Overlord, hits the supply block from this, and actually that's going to last a while, because she hasn't got another Overlord started just yet. So she's going to have to start with a couple of those, and I'll slow it down a little bit here, as we already see Pet starting up a Roach, maybe just for defensive purposes. We'll see how many more drones he wants to make here. Currently on 42 workers, which is pretty solid 2-base saturation, but we'll see if he wants to saturate that third base at all. Same sort of question goes towards Scarlett, as we see her finishing up some Overlords, and if she's just going to make Roaches as well, it's sort of okay. If she wants to make drones, then obviously it's a bigger effect on her, because then she's not going to have had them drones as early as she could have, as we see the Roaches on the way up. So, just going to be seeing how this sets up. We're going to see Scarlett losing another Overlord. Pet also going to lose an Overlord now as well. Scarlett, I'm not sure where that Overlord was, but he does hit a supply block. Maybe in the main base or so. So Pet just being very aggressive with these Queens, looking to kind of pick off a couple of Overlords. Something Scarlett maybe could have done as well, considering it is kind of early Roaches against early Roaches. Scarlett sneaks in a couple of extra drones. The Roach count for both players is heading up towards the same sort of area. Pet now hitting his own supply block. And so both players just hitting sort of slight macro mistakes at different parts of the game. I mean, the supply blocks are, when you're losing Overlords especially, I mean, the supply blocks are something which are hard to see coming. It's hard to predict that you're going to lose that Overlord. Of course, you don't want to predict that you're going to lose that Overlord and stuff like that as well. So, just going to be seeing Roaches joining up together here from Scarlett. And they're just going to start thinking about coming over towards the right-hand side. And just going to be seeing Pet just getting ready to go over to the right-hand side as well. So Pet just going to think about coming over to the right-hand side. We're going to see Scarlett just pulling back a little bit here with these Roaches. And there's that Spire on the way up. So she's going to go for a meterless transition. Loving it. Meterless transition is something which I think is so powerful in the ZvZ. Great to see it coming back into play again. I mean, we saw kind of for a long time ZvZ was in early Legacy of the Void all about meter tech switch. Namshar, one of the players who absolutely loved to play a meter tech switch in every single game, and it was so powerful. You hit with the meters out of nowhere, and all of a sudden Ravagers are dying left, right, and center for your opponent, and you just have so much potential with it. So people kind of figured it out, they scouted for it, and they learned to kind of prepare against it, but maybe Pet going to be caught a bit off guard, because yeah, it's still something that happens, but not all the time. So one of these things that people is, you know, as the meta game kind of evolves, it's something we don't see as often, and so it's something people don't, you know, remember to kind of check for so much, and so on and so on. And as we're going to be seeing the Roaches cleaning together on Scarlett, she's just been a few workers behind here or there. She is actually still just a few Roaches behind. That is, of course, just because she's going into mutas, so that's what kind of the difference in supplies right here. Going into mutas instead of Roaches. Roaches is much more kind of supply and effective than mutas, or supply heavy than mutas, and so it's obviously going to be a slight supply lead from Pet. I wonder how many mutas Scarlett goes with, because she's got 5. Is she just going to go with 5, or is she going to wait? Because 5 is very easily turned away by a Queen or 2, but it is a good number to kind of pick away at drones and so. As we see her coming across the map, straight towards the third base, actually. As we're just going to see, well, no Queens collected together just yet, so immediately a few drones going to start going down. She's also moving out on the map with her Roaches. Immediately Pet kind of goes and counterattacks. He sees this attack moving across, he sees this mutas coming in, he's like, okay, well, I should have a Roach advantage. Let's try and make it happen, but I'm just going to use the Roaches as a way to kind of force the mutas to kind of pull back for a moment or two. Queens can come across the map as well. The creep spread actually pretty good from Pet. Now Scarlett, what she's going to be looking for here is just looking to defend against these Roaches. So using her defender's advantage, the concave and whatever else she can find. And she takes a 12 worker lead from this, loses 1 mutalist so far. We'll pull them mutas back across. They can start working their way through Ravagers, for example, during the fights. And that can actually be pretty useful. So you can see the mutas coming in already, and I'm not going to get these Ravagers here. These Ravagers are actually very far forwards, and they might be caught by a few of these Roaches coming in here from Scarlett. We're going to see her coming in. She's going to start taking a fight. This isn't a fight Scarlett can take, though. She definitely doesn't have the army to fight this, I don't think. I just don't think she's got enough Roaches. It just doesn't look large enough an army, but she does get some good Ravager shots off. She has less Ravagers, though, remember, so that means less Biles and less kind of potential for her in these fights as well. She's going to see her coming in and engaged once again. The Mirror's actually going to break their way through against a few of these low-health Roaches. The Ravagers are in the front of this army here for Pet, and that's not a good thing at all. You're going to see these Ravagers dropping quickly. Scarlett needs to try and split away from those supplies in the center. And as Pet is taking heavy damage, as is Scarlett. A few meters still in the sky. Reinforcements of Scarlett will hit faster though. And I think just because Pet loses those Ravagers so quickly, this is going to become a very, very one-sided fight here very quickly. And Scarlett is going to clean up a lot of this. Then Queen's going to go down. I'm just going to see a couple more barrels going into the skies and another Overlord going down as well. Pet finds himself 50 supply down now in this game. I'm just going to be seeing the meters just coming in and just going to be continuing to work his way against this Overlord. So, just going to see the meters continue to move around here. The Roaches, Ravagers, just going to come in again and just look to see if they can keep on trading. Scarlett with the advantage right now wants to keep on pushing. And wants to keep on making things happen as we see the attack coming down. And I mean, why not? I mean, she's got such a lead. She knows she won that fight convincingly previously. And a great play by Scarlett at the 5 meters, really messing Pet up, forcing him into a fight, or feeling as though he was forced into a fight, which he just couldn't win across the map. Good engagements by Scarlett too, and again, just getting a few battles off helped the meters out a lot as well, as we see a few more battles, and again, Overlord's just dropping one at a time here. Scarlett just sitting on the edge of this creep spread, threatening her opponent. We see Hydra's coming out. We don't see a Lucky Den though, right? I think we would have seen that in production tab, no, so I mean, Muta's still here as well, another Overlord going to go down, and Scarlett has had enough apparently. She's going to start moving into this, just test the waters. Sees her opponent has a fair few units, and actually just going to wait a little while longer. Still 10 workers up in the game. She's going to move her Mutas in towards the main base now. See if she can get some damage over there, pull her opponent around a bit. Well, she still wants to mostly attack in towards this third, and that's why she goes right here. She comes on in, and well, this should just be a fight to kind of seal the deal for Scarlett. I was just going to be seeing a couple more battles dropping down, and yeah, I mean, we're just going to see everything kind of being pushed away here. So again, just Roaches are ravaging a few Hydras, continuing to be in a little bit of trouble as we see Scarlett backing away once more. Pet just continues to set up on this third base. You can see the Roaches and Ravagers once again moving forward here, just having a little bit of a look to see what they can get up to. You'll see Lurker Den is on the way up from Pet right now. So Lurker Den on the way up. You'll see Muta's just going to get onto that Overlord. And again, just, I mean, now Pet is actually supply blocked and Scarlett's maxed out. So really is just sort of Scarlett playing it patiently, waiting to kind of get in towards the very end of this game. Just making sure she's maxed out, has the best possible advantage she can get before attacking on in. And there we go, splits into a concave, comes through the two different pathways here, and just comes straight on in. Way too much stuff for Pet to deal with. And we are going to game number 3 in the semi-finals of the Douyu Star Masters number 46. GG Scarlett. What's going to be happening as we kick off to the upper left-hand side of the map is going to be our pink Zerg player from Dead Pixels. Let's hear it, guys, for Scarlett. And down to the bottom right, our red Zerg player is going to be Pet. So Scarlett recently has quite liked going 1-0 down in the series and coming back to win in Douyu Star Masters Monthly Finals and some other events we've been casting her in. Yeah, guys, if you do miss any of the matches, we do put them all on the YouTube channel, all the good ones, all the ones that are worth watching. So actually, one of the ones up there from Scarlett right now is Scarlett versus Gumiho from the Douyu Monthly Finals. And I believe Scarlett's matches, other matches against Time and so on from that tournament is also up on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/SC2improve. So, go check that out. It is worthwhile, and again, if you want to see more of the Scarlett games we've been casting lately but didn't catch them on stream, definitely worth a watch. We've also got the Leifeng Cup playoffs from the other day coming up there. Mario SOS went live last night. There's a bunch of other games from SOS versus Solo going to go up today. Great matches, definitely worth checking out as well. Of course, if you're looking for some extra StarCraft to watch when the stream's not live. And as we kick off into this third game, hatchery gas pool from both players, and it is Scarlett going to play that mind game. This is the thing with the with the early game kind of going in such a way so that basically, so the early game, you know, in the series, what Scarlett has done is at some point she opened with an aggressive gas pool, and the idea of it is to actually not just play a gas pool opening and play a bit of a different opening, but it's actually to also mind game her opponent massively as you go into the later games of the series. So as Pet comes into the natural here, you can see the differences. He's going to come in, see no natural. Scarlett's going to come in and see, oh, a natural. So what Pet immediately has to begin preparing for is the potential for kind of an early gas pool pressure. So what this means is that Pet might heavily overreact to this opening. And if he heavily overreacts to this, then straight away, we're going to see Scarlett taking a lead. And immediately that's what we're seeing. Bane and Nest before speed is a reaction to that. Spinecrawler is a reaction to that. And all this time, Scarlett's actually just droning up. So it's pretty crazy as we're going to see some extra lings going across the map. Of course, Pet just thinks he's missed the first set of lings coming across, so he's a little bit unaware right now. He's going to send a few lings out, and again, it's going to be about keeping a few lings back at home for the Bane and Nest, for the Banelings as well. And Pet might not even start ling speed here. If he starts up a couple of Banes straight away, he might not start ling speed for a while. Queen doesn't even bother injecting, comes straight across, ready to defend the natural. This is a huge overreaction from Pet, and the thing is he can't be aggressive on the counter-attack because he doesn't have ling speed. So already Pet has, you know, so many lings, he cancelled the spine, so he's beginning to realise this, but it's just too late. He realises Scarlett doesn't have speed, he realises there's a third hatchery, or the hatchery in the third location. He's going to lose this Overlord now, which is going to be a supply block. He's got a lot of Zerglings, yes, but he doesn't have speed, so he doesn't hit very quickly, and he's actually just going to go straight into a lair, and I imagine probably just try and play kind of a similar open to the last game, but again, he's definitely playing from behind here. Scarlett had a bit of a worker lead early, and well, she will have ling speed, and she will turn on a little bit of aggression with some Ling Bane in the very near future as well. I mean, Pet's still trying to make this happen as well. I was just going to be seeing these Zerglings collecting together over here. And it's going to be seeing Pet just thinking about jumping on up in towards the high ground. And again, just sort of having a look to see what's going on. I was going to see a few Banes morphing in. I'm just going to be seeing Scarlett already getting rid of one Baneling over here and a second Baneling too. Not the most efficient of trades, 3 and 4 lings for kind of a Baneling, but she does have enough to kind of fight against this. And again, it's slow lings, so she can very easily engage against these Zerglings. And I mean, when they're outnumbered, they are outnumbered, they're going to die. So Pet going to lose a lot here. And that's immediately going to give Scarlett a huge potential for counterattack, because again, Pet still doesn't have ling speed. He can only morph in Banelings. He's actually going to start a Spine Crawler already, realizing he's in a little bit of trouble. He also is without a third hatchery like Scarlett has started up. And this is Scarlett off to a very, very good start in third game here. Spire is going to come down from Pet, so he's going to go for kind of like desperation Mutalisks. As we see him just trying anything right now to try and make this work. As you see Scarlett morphing in Bane, she's got more Banes coming across the map. And I actually think Scarlett, 20 supply to 7, has a very good chance of just straight up breaking her opponent right here. One Bane for one ling, not the trade, which we want right now from Pet's point of view. As we do see one Bane from Scarlett getting targeted down though very quickly. Scarlett has to be careful of those Banes. Does she go up this ramp? The Spine Crawler there definitely may make her change her mind about what she wants to do with this. As we see, oh, the Bane is getting so close. She has so many Banes. She's got some more Banes at home, some more drones at home for herself, so still droning. Has to be careful for the Queenstones. Good control by Pet to keep himself alive here and to keep Scarlett from running on in any time soon. As we're going to see these couple of Queens just pushing the lings back once again. Spire going to be finishing very shortly from Pet, so looking to get into this. We see a couple of Banes from Scarlett trying to lead the charge. And we see them Zerglings also going to be coming forwards, and they're going to try to have a little bit of a look to see what they can get up to. You're going to see the Banes coming in. 2 Banes or 2 Banes. And Scarlett's going to cancel this Baneling here as well. The next Bane has come in. Scarlett is just trying to get rid of them Banes so Zerglings can do something. She's losing a lot of her own Banes, but I think she realizes that if she can just get rid of that last Baneling there, she can actually kind of just run in with Zerglings, but it's just not going to happen. That one Baneling is still alive. Leads the charge, and pretty good Bane connection. We're going to see her try and fight the Queen. She'll get the Queen with energy. Transfuses pretty much a full health Queen there just to get the energy off. As we're going to see Mutas on the way. I mean, that may make the difference here in this game from Pet. I mean, he's still down a base, but Scarlett hasn't seen these Mutalisks. She has no idea about them, and so right from the get-go, she might start taking quite a bit of damage. Her Queen count isn't high, it's only at 2, so she really doesn't have much to fight these Mutas. Now she sees them, now she knows more Queens, Spore Crawlers, and whatever else is going to be necessary. She's been going into Roaches herself, and so Pet, he survived to get Mutas out. He's still 41 drones to 38, so he's actually in a worker lead. Really far behind an army, but he has an army. His Mutas are here, are basically going to be able to counter these Roaches very heavily. So Scarlett was going for another wave and all in, but this kind of fast Muta play is for now going to work out. We're going to see Spores starting to come down, Queen's coming into position as well. They'll start fighting against these Mutalisks, of course. And they're all going to collect up together. Scarlett would like to get some creep between the third base and the natural, I imagine. That's actually going to be a bit of an issue for her if she doesn't get that up anytime soon, because without that creep, she will struggle to kind of get the Queens between the bases, and immediately she puts down a creep tumor there now. The Roaches, though, have found their way across the map, and this is huge, actually, because the Roaches have gone across the map without the Mutas seeing them. In fact, I don't think Pet's ever seen these Roaches, so he has no idea they're coming, and so the Mutas are not going to be able to work their way against them, chip away at them throughout the game, and so Scarlett's going to get straight up here into the natural, and she's going to get good damage done. So yes, she's taking damage from the Mutalisks, but she's going to do damage as well. Picks off a Muta here as it tries to fly back, and this will give Scarlett a lot of time to prepare. We're going to see these Roaches will pick off the spine. The Baneling goes down as well. Lings are going to stream in, and this is Pet being 4 workers ahead, but about to take a hell of a lot of damage here as these Zerglings are going to clean out so many drones. And drones being pushed away. We're going to see the Roaches coming up in towards the main base, and another Queen going down. More drones going to continue falling here. Zerglings streaming in once again. We're just going to see drones continuing to drop as the Roaches will continue just clean up a few more drones. I mean, this is just Scarlett with the counter-attack. Well hidden, well executed counter-attack against the Mutas, and this is going to be game-ending damage, I think. I mean, yeah, Pet was looking okay with the Mutalist, but when you lose this many workers, you drop down to 49 against 13 workers, you're in a lot of trouble as we're going to see these drones continuing to fall, and that is going to be Scarlett most definitely taking game number 3 and advancing to the finals of Douyu Star Masters number 46. There's no way you come back from the square root of your opponent's work account, and then Scarlett loses a drone to spoil my math joke. God damn it. That was such good math on stream. That was like the best math on stream ever. The square root of your opponent's work account. God. And then people spoil it by making drones and making buildings which loses drones and all this nonsense. Link's going to counter-attack once again. Mutas are across the map trying to get damage done, but look at the Queen count. Scarlett has not only done damage, but she's bought herself so much time here in this game to just build up the Queen count, to prepare against the Mutalisks, and so now she is well prepared. Now she can fight against them much more easily. And as we're going to see the Lings coming across the map too. And they're just going to pick off some of the last workers here. Between the bases, around the bases, a drone cancels over there. This drone will go down. She'll probably run past these roaches into the natural. The roaches aren't very fast, so they will struggle to keep up with the lings, although the lings are actually going to back away. And as we're going to be seeing, Zerglin's going to be coming back up towards the upper left side. We're going to see Mutas coming in. They take down an Extractor, maybe a couple of Overlords. Again, Scarlett just running around with Queens, and then to see a Creep 2 right there to connect up the main and the natural, same way she connected up the natural in the third base previously. Muta's still going to be a little bit of an annoyance, still a little bit of a pain right now. I think it's going to be a fan to the right-hand side. Pet does see them with the Overlord, so he is able to pick off a few of these. Has a long way to go to get back in this game, though, still. I mean, 52 to 18 supply. I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlett just made a Nidus network, and I mean, at this point, she's got so many Queens with a Nidus. She should pop the Nidus up over here, get Queens out, transfuse it, and yeah, as we're going to see these Mutas just going in towards the main base there, and just going to be, again, still being annoying. Nice transfuse keeps one of those Overlords alive out of the trio that were under attack. I'm just going to see the Mutas again being pushed away. And again, Mutas just continuing to look to see what they might be able to get up to. As we're going to see the Infestors continuing to be added on. We're going to see the Hydra's Den being added as well by Pet. So Hydra Den being added, we're going to see them Mutalisks still continuing to look around, look to see what they can get up to. And Infestor, I mean, Infestors have come out, so fungal growths are now becoming a threat. So it's harder and harder for Pet to get something done with these Mutalisks. So we're going to see Pet just continue to move around and, well, wants to stay in this. I mean, obviously, again, in the finals, there's already $35 in the bank for the day. Better than the $15 he can still play for in the third place match. But it just doesn't look too hopeful. He is rebuilding that work count, 38 to 54. I mean, it's getting there. But Scarlett, of course, is still kind of keeping her lead as well, you know? She just knows that this is an army which she has to just take her time against, be patient against, and eventually she'll get a chance to move across the map and end the game, as we see her adding on another Evo Chamber, going into +1 upgrades. Just going to stick with this kind of roach-based play. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Hydra Den. We actually see a Lurker Den on the way from Pet. So time is sort of beginning to tick away for Scarlett, where she might become, you know, might get into a bit of trouble if Lurkers do get onto the map. But how many Lurkers are we realistically going to see? As we see the Mutas still just moving around, still haven't seen a fungal growth land on any of those. And Scarlett just slowly pushing out with the Queens. Fungal growth on the Overseer, not something you see every day, but will work. Works nicely to get rid of that there, as we see again the Mutalist from Pet just continuing to see what is going on and what is happening. I was just going to see. We just continue to have a look to see what's going on. Just going to be pushed away by the spores. And Scarlett again creep to the left-hand side of the map now too. Her own Hydra Den on the way up, so she has some more mobile defense against the Mutalisks, alongside the Hydras, alongside the fungal growths, I should say, the Infestors. Let's see 3 Roaches and Ravagers moving towards the center. See those rocks being taken down. Just going to make life a little bit harder for Scarlett to attack across. I mean, Pet doing everything he can right here to buy himself time for Lurkers and the Lurker count to get into game. Thing is, though, even with the Lurkers, I feel as though his main plan might be just to kind of snipe an Overseer and then, like, let the Lurkers do their damage, but I really feel as though the real problem is just going to be the fact that there's just not going to be anything in front of the Lurkers. Scarlett's just going to have so much that even with Lurkers, she's just going to be able to kind of, with a decent concave, just split up and go straight through this. So we see them Overlords are just going to lose one of them. Pet hits another supply block here, as we see. Scarlett's own Lurker Den on the way in. Her upgrades continue to come. Overlord farm over here, and again, just playing it patiently. Pet actually going to be the first player to start taking a 4th base. And Pet, well, he's got them Lurkers up again. I mean, Scarlett is giving Pet this sort of time that he might need to maybe get back in this. I still don't think so. I still think Scarlett knows that she's just got an army that can't die, that can't lose. And she just wants to make sure that her army is completely ready before she goes across the map. As we're going to see the Queens join together as well. Again, I don't see why she just doesn't build an Idas. Build it over here or something, push in with the Queens and so on. A long time ago, could have worked out. I mean, again, there's a lot of different ways you can play it. I mean, this is one of the ways. And it kind of looks scary from our point of view, but Scarlett knows she's in complete control of the game. It's going to take a throw like what she did against Nurture in the Home Story Cup to really lose this one. I'm sure she's not in any sort of rush to make that happen again anytime soon, as we see the 4th hatchery on the way down for Scarlett as well. And again, she's just starting to push through the center of the map as Creep Spread continue to push out here, giving them Queens that little bit of extra mobility they need to really get onto the map, and so on and so on. 4th hatchery going to be coming up, being about halfway done in a few moments. The Lurkers are starting to morph in from Scarlett as well. Maybe Scarlett just doesn't want us to cast anyone else other than her today. Maybe she just wants to make sure that by the time she finishes, the other players are already done in the other semi-finals, so we can just go straight into the finals. Because right now, that's what this is sort of looking like. As we do see the Roaches, Hydras Lurkers, Infestors, Queens, everything for Scarlett, apart from Mutalisk, basically. Then ready to go. If you see on a Hive as well, as you see, well, she actually out Lurkers her opponent right here, it seems. We're going to see some Corrosive Pals coming in, going to try and start dropping onto the Lurkers, pushing her opponent back. She's finally getting aggressive here, and she'll, again, run straight into this kind of Lurker kind of positioning. Has to be careful, there's not a low number of Lurkers, so she can't just run up this ramp. May as well, I think, better off if she runs around the side and comes in towards the third base in this sort of area where she just has so much more space to split into a concave. I'm going to take these rocks down as well, just to minimize another attack path Scarlett could take in towards this army. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Hydras here trying to fight against the Mutalisk. A Lurker or two starting to be worked away at by the Mutalisk, and actually they might get both of them. So a couple of Lurkers go down. Scarlett with an Ultras Cavern on the way, Spine Crawlers as well to help against harassment. Viper on the way too. How about to finish up from our player Pet? Scarlett actually down +2 upgrade right now, but is going to get that very shortly. He's also got Characters upgrade over her opponent as well, so... Just going to be seeing a few more spines coming up as well from Pet. I mean, again... I understand Scarlett's just playing it safe and slow, and she's still in complete control of the game, but it just really feels like it's a riskier way to play, because, I mean... Pet is kind of, is definitely in a much better position than he once was. However, this is going to be cute, I think, because I think we're going to see some Blinding Clouds to push these Lurkers back. And that's going to give Scarlett maybe the chance, or just the Abducts forwards as well, also works. Either way, just a way for her to kind of start moving up towards this ramp, towards this fourth base. Fifth base to the left-hand side from Pet, also protected by a bunch of Lurkers there, so... Pet's still trying to stay in this, a couple of spines get cancelled. Scarlett, another Abduct, another Lurker goes down. Muters coming forwards, trying to get themselves a Viper kill or two, but they're going to run right into Hydras and Queens, so they're going to take quite a lot of damage. I'm just going to be seeing... Pet's actually 76 drones to 51. Scarlett's army supply about 36 ahead. Or 66 ahead. Pretty insane differences. We see again just the Vipers trying to get that Abduct down. Our own Lurkers setting up here, Spore Crawls coming down. They can also be used as a way to get some more energy onto the Vipers, get that consume going. I see another couple of Infested Terrans coming down to... was she trying to attack move the Spine Crawler? Like attack move the... like splash the Spine Crawler with attack move there or something? I think she might have been. Pet losing units, and Pet actually has a huge amount of money in the bank. He's actually got a Grey Aspire. So Pet's got Broodlords about to come into the game, which could change this. Like, it genuinely could change this. Scarlett has no way to play against Broodlords. Apart from Abducts and so, like... These 11 Broodlords could completely change this game. As we're just going to be seeing these Roaches coming in. They're going to take down this base to the left-hand side. I mean, Mia's come forward. Scarlett is going to commit these Roaches, though. Pull the Mia's out of position. I mean, she doesn't have an air army. She genuinely does not have an air army. She's got spores. But man, this is going to get very, very... this is actually going to get very... I'm actually starting to worry a little bit about Scarlett right now, because the Broodlords definitely are a little bit of a threat. They definitely are a massive threat right here. She's continuing out on Vipers. You see these Roaches going to burrow, just try and back away, get towards the third base now, continue to attack around the map. She sees Corruptors. She has to start to realize the Broodlords. Okay, she sees the Broodlords straight up now, so she realizes what she's up against. An Abduct on one of them, pulling it forwards towards the Spores. Nice fungal growth as well. She can still fight this army, it's just not ideal. As you see the Vipers again, going to be pulling in a lot of the Broodlords. The Queens are here as well, going to start targeting the Broods as well. Actually, that's a lot of the Broods going down. Didn't think it was going to be quite that effective at cleaning this up, but she is starting to lose her Lurkers towards the front. Roaches to the right-hand side, going to try and clean up as well. These Lurkers coming into position to try and defend these Roaches, trying to run by. Scarlett gets up here in time to pick off these Lurkers, actually, because they don't burrow. Big mistake by Pet, as he's still fighting with the Broodlords. We're going to see Scarlett still trying to hold this position. Spores being the MVP still as well. A few Lurkers do burrow. No detection here from Scarlett, unfortunately, means that she's going to start losing these Roaches. And Scarlett not building anything else just yet, still fighting at the front here. Spores going to do a lot of damage against these Corruptors, of course. And there's the Spore Queen line that's really kind of keeping Scarlett in this still. We're going to see the Corruptors backing off once again. We're going to be seeing an Ultra Cavern now dropping down from Pet as a bit of a transition gets set up from him. These Roaches still alive over here, but finally the Lurkers clean those out. Work account now even. Scarlett with the bigger bank. But what does she spend on? A few more draws. She's getting a base set up to the right-hand side as well. She's still got these Spores here. The Broodlord count's pretty much gone, so there's only, what, 2 Broodlords left, but still a lot of Corruptors in the skies. Scarlett has to kind of keep this, she has to keep playing this slow now. She has no choice other than to keep playing it slow, she has to just slowly pick away with the Viper count. Maybe some Parasitic Bombs could help out as well. We're going to see an Overseer going to go down again on the Spores. Definitely useful at the front, more Queens, a few Hydras being added on as well, plus 3 missiles. Muscular Augments for the Hydras also. When she did get that Hydra den up, she went straight into the Lurker den earlier on. And Scarlett really, I mean, just going to have to come back, consume. I mean, she's got so many Vipers, she has to be careful not to kind of kill these buildings. It's going to be something she actually does have to be very careful, because this many Vipers will take up a lot of health on buildings, and she's actually very close to killing that base now. Might have to go back and transfuse that up, starts to get some energy off of these spore crawlers again. Pet trying to rebuild a base over the left-hand side. Scarlett again, still have more bases. Down on economy again, though. Down 60, down 15 workers still in this game. Pet with more income. Scarlett has begun to, well, she's been expending her bank as well over time, of course. As Pet starts going to Ultras, is there an army to fight against Ultras right now from Scarlett? Debatable. I mean, it's going to be hard to fight with Ultras because they're going to be very choked up by spores and everything, but is there anything to really do damage to Ultralisks? I mean, there's lurkers, and that's about it, I think. I'm genuinely concerned. I genuinely can see Scarlett losing this game, which seems ridiculous considering the situation we were in, but it's just gotten to that point. You're going to see another couple of Brutals still around. A little bit of a standoff here between Spore Crawler lines from both players. I'm just going to be seeing the Ultra Switch with the Kindness play and the 1-1 melee upgrades finishing up. I mean, they could run around the bases, though. I mean, if they go and counterattack these bases, Scarlett's going to have to leave this forward position. And that definitely gives Pet a way back into the game. As you're going to see a Lurker. He's going to get picked away out there. Another abductor maybe. We're going to see Scarlett just move a bit further forward with her own Lurkers. Transfuses to keep them alive is a nice thing. Going to transfuse again. Kind of abducts another Lurker of her opponent. Pushing back the spore line of her opponent here. But again, it's the Ultralisks and they do counterattack. And that's exactly what Pet wants to do with these, you know. Because if, other than a counterattack, what else can you really do? We're going to see, the army moving into position now. From Scarlett to try and deal with that, but she's going to use the Infested Terrors to try and buy some time. These Ultras going to take quite a lot of damage. This base up here is in a lot of trouble, though. Hasn't pulled the drones away from this. This base does go down. We're going to see these Ultras being chased. They're doing quite a bit of damage. Scarlett, not really with an answer to Ultras right now, apart from getting her own Ultras up, but she's going to lose 2 bases, so she's going to lose a lot of economy for a while here. And it's genuinely going to be nice. Infested Terror is actually going to trap them Ultras in a little bit. In fact, them Ultras are trapped in, so that Ultra's going to die. She does have her own Ultras on the way up, which is okay. That's great. She does have same upgrades as her opponent, slightly better Carapace upgrades, which is great. She's got Kindness Planes, so that's fine. But again, these Ultras giving Pet another chance to maybe get back into this game. I mean, Scarlett now actually doesn't have a mining base. All her bases are mined out. Unless she moves over to the left-hand side here. We'll see her fighting once again. Her own Ultra is coming into play. And they definitely will help to turn this away. One Ultra at the end there from Pet taken down. Scarlett's still holding that 50 supply lead, but way down in workers. She has the army. And so, again, she's in a position where she has to rebuild her bases. Yes, she's not mining right now, but she's far enough ahead so that it actually means that she's able to sort of be behind for a while without kind of losing. As we're going to see an Overseer coming in, we're going to see a couple of Broodlords abducted forwards, but that's not going to help because the spores are currently unburrowed. The spores have moved forwards. This base is going to go down. Pet does have a new base to the left-hand side. We see Ultras counterattacking once again. This time Scarlett can send her own Ultras to deal with this, as she currently long-distance mines, and now she'll reposition over to the left-hand side here, I imagine. And, well, the Ultras, actually, where did they go? The Ultras have pulled back, it seems. No, they just completely disappeared. There they are, they did, they pulled back. So Pet pulls back these Ultras. Scarlett starts to push into the left-hand side again. This should be Scarlett's game to win still. But really was the kind of slow, difficult way of making this happen, I think. We're just going to be seeing. I mean, again, it's against Mutalisks. You always have to be a little bit cautious of what might be going on, of what you have to, of what's happening. You have to be very cautious of the potential of, throwing the game if you just attack into the Mutalisks and throwing your advantage. But again, this did get a little bit scary towards the end. I mean, again, I think Scarlett always was in control. But as if it was definitely a bit scary. Parasitic bombs destroy the sky army of her opponent. And we're just going to be seeing a few links across the map being a little bit annoying, but at the end of the day, Scarlett just has enough to realistically keep taking her opponent down. I mean, actually, both players are low on drones. But again, Scarlett has a standing army, so economies don't really matter anymore. We're just going to be seeing the units coming in over here. We're going to see these lings just actually realizing that a few of the drones are burrowed nearby. If the lings go down to the Ultras, a little bit of an unfair fight. As we're going to see the Ultras going to go down to the bottom right, and that 4th base from Scarlett, from Pet now, is going to be on the way up. Going to be finishing here in just a moment or two, but may not ever see existence as we're going to see the Ultras come in. We think that hatchery will be cancelled. Pet going to save his minerals, but he's going to lose drones again, and again, what little economy he has is not looking great right now, as we're going to see Spore Crawlers retreating away from Ultras and Lings. At the same time, not really much use for Spore Crawlers any longer. They've kind of served their purpose already. Let's see a couple of the ducks and zerglings there, not really super useful. Pet types out the GG, a game which we thought was over about 10-15 minutes ago, but